You know, it's quite sad when a new 2015 Fantastic Four films underperforms and gets a lower rating on Internet Movie Database than that of the original two films. Something should say to you in your head, you've done goofed. As many of you guys know, I love comics, I read comics, I collect comics, and I need alcohol to get through this. This movie was a fantastic fail, and I was blown away at how bad this movie really was. The trailer had me hyped up. I saw a serious, dark tone for a film, and while it tries to do that, the exposition of this entire film is so terribly dreadful that I want my money back, and I can sincerely say that. The film takes place in the Marvel Ultimate Universe, going off that storyline, but even trying to attempt to use that storyline, it still fails on every level. I would call this film fantastic shit, because that is what this film is. And I'm sorry I'm being harsh. I really went into this film wanting to like this. I wanted to see this. I wanted to see a well-done Fantastic Four film, but it was simply not that. One of the biggest reasons I think this film failed so badly, and you can definitely see why it fails so badly, and why it's utter shit, is because of the director, Josh Trank. This director is one of the most unprofessional directors, and I believe that he ruined this franchise. In fact, Lucasfilm, Star Wars, the company, dropped this director very recently because of his actions that he did with this film. He destroyed $5,000 worth of property sets of the Fantastic Four film. He came up on the set high and intoxicated numerous times. People working with the film complained about him. Some of the times he didn't even show up to direct his own movie. And you can see this reflected so much in the Fantastic Four. And this movie, I believed, had so much potential to be fantastic, but it simply isn't. This film, and I am not exaggerating at all with this, is comparable to that of Batman and Robin. The difference between Batman and Robin in this fantastic shitfest is the fact that Batman and Robin is not super serious. This movie tries to be super serious. It tries to be serious, it tries to be dark, it tries to be the next Dark Knight, personally as I feel, and it fails to do so. The exposition of this entire film was... I couldn't even tell what was happening. This film was boring. Absolutely boring. The ending was one of the most anticlimactic endings I have ever seen. Victor Von Doom, thanks 20th Century Fox for fucking up another awesome villain. They can't seem to portray this character right. He looked terrible. He acted terrible. It was no Victor Von Doom. The only positive thing I can even say about this is the actors who portrayed Johnny Storm, Sue Storm, and Reed Richards were fantastic. You had big budgeted actors, and they performed their characters well. But you'd think for a film that it is costing this much money in terms of a big budget, that there wouldn't be obvious scenes in this movie with the CGI, which I have never dissed a movie for this, that I've reviewed. Comic book movies have always been pretty solid. The CGI in this film was absolutely terrible. There were parts where you could actually see... I don't know how to describe this. I've worked with green screens before, but you could see parts of the green screen that were not fully completed, which is shocking to me. How does this happen? Well, let's have a director who doesn't show up, doesn't do his job, and comes up on set intoxicated numerous times. That would probably do it. I wasn't sure if this scene was intentional, but there's this part in the film where Reed Richards, you know, is doing his stretchy stuff, and his face tries to morph into another face to blend, to make him, you know, disguise himself to look like somebody else. And I don't know if this was intentional or not. I'm not sure if it was to look so bad, but this is one of the worst CGI effects that I have seen in 2015, hands down. This is one of the worst films in 2015 I've seen, hands down. There's no story. This entire film wasn't even a film. It was literally, let's take an hour and 40 minutes of your time and your money. Let's put a bunch of random scenes of exposition in this film, making it completely disorganized and not even able to comprehend and follow the plot, and try to make a film dark and serious so that the viewers will love it. I thought bad comic book movies, like genuinely bad, we're done. You know, I can be alright with a film being okay, not amazing, not super bad, but this film is bad. There's no reason to see this movie because this movie is simply setting up a sequel. That's all this movie is completely doing, is trying to go off of another sequel. So instead of having, you know, Marvel films or solo films of a character, of an origin story, after those origin stories have been made, then they're brought into, you know, like the Avengers and stuff like that, and then, you know, the Avengers films are supposedly building up on one gigantic, franchise of a film of Thanos, and you know what I'm trying to say here. Fantastic Four didn't even attempt to do that. They're just like, hey, let's just sketch together a quick little origin story of these characters, throw some scenes together, have some terrible, poor direction here. Let's make as much money as we possibly can because we're 20th Century Fox. We like to fuck things up in the Marvel universe. Instead of making a solo film about the Fantastic Four, we're gonna try to make this film out to be a setup for a perfect another sequel, which completely doesn't accomplish anything within the story. It's a Fantastic Four. The film wants you to care about Earth and protecting the civilians of Earth, but it fails to do that on any level. You just walk out of the movie saying, I don't care. Fantastic shit. That's what you are. That's what this film is. And I hate saying that. I don't like reviewing comic book movies like this, but that is what it is. I thought we were done past the movie Ghost Rider, Batman and Robin. I thought we were done with shitty comic book movies. This film upped the standard and upped the year to 2015 to a dreadful start. And again, I want to stress the actors of this film were fantastic. I'm not dissing them at all. They did their job. But I feel bad for them that they got attached to such a shitty movie. A movie that has no organization, no structure, the comedy, the dialogue lines didn't make me laugh at all. Like, I was literally just sitting there like, I was euthanized, literally euthanized, just like, haha, he made a funny. That's literally like, it was so bad. I don't understand. I don't understand how we had 2015 all this time. 20th Century Fox, please give the rights back to Marvel. Or next time get a director or fire the director who shows up on set intoxicated, because it shows so abundantly and so clearly through this film that you had no idea, this guy had no idea what he was doing. If I could give the best example of Fantastic Four, I would say it is this. It is comparable to that of Batman and Robin, but instead of trying to be, you know, kind of silly and, you know, over the top, it tries to be Batman and Robin, except 100% serious in everything. And that's why it fails so badly. Even the first two Fantastic Four films were a bit cheesy. They were clunky. That was okay to me. It was okay that they were cheesy and a bit clunky with everything. But this just takes it to a whole new level. You have the same type of movie trying to do the same thing, except dark and serious. Fantastic Four, The Dark Knight Rises. I'm sorry, guys. I really am. Wait to see this film. Please don't waste your money on this terrible, terrible comic book movie. Josh Trank, you're a disgrace, and you ruined the potential for a Fantastic Four film. Fuck you and your irresponsibility of a professional director. I'm so glad Lucasfilm dropped you for the future of Star Wars, because you don't deserve that type of fucking respect.